Can you hear me?
Hello, is that Kat?
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm recording now, so your call is being recorded for quality and training purposes. Yeah, so you
Okay.
were at the standing for, what is it, Let Women Speak event in
Let women
Nottingham.
speak.
Yeah,
Yeah, in
so
Nottingham today.
just give me a bit of an overview. So you got there what time?
I got into Nottingham about 12:15, and I walked up to the space where the protest was supposed to be, and there weren't any people around. And there was maybe about 200 people
Mm,
gathered for counter protest just to the side.
right.
Um, I went off and got a cup of coffee, and when I came back, uh, Posie Parker was there,
Yeah.
and she had maybe like 30 people with her,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
maybe
see. I wasn't
10
aware
of
of
them in
this. I
jackets.
was only aware of it when I saw the hashtag because they always do the hashtags, don't they? So, and then when I knew you were there, I'll go in there. I was like, well, you've got to feed back to me. So like, it looks like she was basically run out of town because I saw her setting up, and there's a bit of an altercation with some people straight away. Did you witness any of that, or were you?
I saw a couple of altercations. I'm not sure what was going on. Um, she had a lot of people shouting at her.
Hmm,
Uh, so as they started setting up, the counter protest must have sort of come down, like marched down towards her, and they were completely surrounded
hmm.
by the counter protest. And the counter protest was so loud that she couldn't get her PA to go loud enough
Right, yeah.
so that anyone could hear her. Um, so there was one point where I believe the gender criticals accused a trans person of having a weapon in the crowd,
Yeah.
and all the police went in, and I don't think that anyone had a weapon. I think it was a lie.
Well, I mean, she was quite nervous about this one because I could tell by the things she was posting. She was saying things like the police better protect us this time and things like that. And from what I saw, I'm looking at the video now on YouTube, and it looks like they're outside the Joseph Else pub, the Weatherspoons, and they get
Yeah, it's like in the Market Square
right.
in Nottingham.
I have been to Nottingham, but I can't remember the lay of the land. So, is it
It's
like
like the big
a
where
public
they have
square?
all the yeah, it's a public square in the middle. There's a town. I think it might be the town hall or the city hall or some council building is there, like a big one. It's where they have all the Christmas markets and they have that kind of thing there in this in like the summer equivalent in the summer. It's like the main kind of square in Nottingham.
Hmm. So I'm
Um,
guessing there was quite a big counter protest then. How many people would you say there was?
I would say there were at least maybe 200 or 300, but I mean I'm not very good at guessing. But
Hmm.
there were way more people counter protesting than there were gender criticals.
Yeah,
There
there
weren't many
usually
of them
is.
at all.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah, I'd say there were 30 GCs and 10 of them had Let Women Speak jackets on.
Yeah. Yeah. They go. Posey brings their own little crew of stewards and security, and I noticed there's one guy that we've both noticed. He's dressed in black, and he's
Yeah.
got an umbrella, and you saw. I did look at it because we was. It looked like a concealed weapon from some of the
Yeah,
pictures.
if you watch early on her footage,
Mm,
it's quite bad, like bad quality footage when they're in the square in Nottingham.
mm,
But you can see him holding it, and it looks like it has an umbrella's handle.
mm.
But much later on, I think it was about 1 hour 40 into her footage, just before it ends, it seems like he's taken the handle off, and it looks like it's a longer, maybe
Mm.
like it's a heavier metal pole. I'm not really sure. I was trying to find something of the equivalent, but my friend asked AI, and AI thought it was a concealed weapon.
Right, because it does look like I don't know if you've ever seen security guys before when they do have weapon, not a weapon as such, but it's like an umbrella. Like I found something on Amazon that is similar, and it's like it looks like a baton, and it is actually meant to be used
It
as
didn't look
that.
like it was legal to me. He didn't have a security badge on. I don't think
But
he's
I mean,
registered security.
the question to ask is why does she need this level of security? You know, because this is like a feminist protest, and
None of the security guys had security badges on, so I don't think they're licensed security, which
mm,
brings a lot of strange questions to me.
I mean, she has been.
Um,
I mean, everywhere she goes, it seems to be she gets run out of town. Like she travelled 7,000 miles to New Zealand to get covered in soup. So I think that was the worst thing that happened to her there, because I think what happened was in Melbourne, it was reported that Nazis were turning up, which they were. So by the time she got to New Zealand, the news had travelled, so all the anti-fash came out. And you've got to remember, New Zealand was still, very, very not long ago, the Christchurch massacre happened. And so there's a very strong anti-fash contingent there. So that's what happened there. But I feel like this is why she is very security conscious now.
I think she went to Nottingham on purpose because there's a trans healthcare centre in Nottingham. And I know that there's at least one trans counsellor on the council, because I was talking to her at Pride. It's just, I mean, it's generally an LGBTQ friendly place.
Was there any? Did anything happen with the police? Did the police?
Police didn't seem interested in her. They weren't interested in her, and they weren't interested in giving her any support. She tried to get them to. I think they wouldn't allow her to amplify any more than she was. I think they told her to try. She was trying to like make it louder, and I don't think she was allowed, and that's why she started packing her stuff up.
Yeah, I noticed. That
but yeah, the police weren't interested.
And then she moves to the police station, doesn't she?
Yeah, and it was closed. It wasn't an open police station. You can see in the background that it says it's Monday to Friday, 9 till 5 or something. But at one point, a gender critical pushed into me, and I swore at her, and she tried to tell the cop that I was intimidating her, and the cop just like looked at her and was like, "I don't care."
Yeah, I mean, when I have been to these things, I went to one in Dublin, and because I'm quite well known to them, so I can't go now because as soon as they see me, they just get the security to move me. But when I was in Dublin, I just heard this woman shout "TRA, TRA," and I was like, "What the fuck? What she was shouting? IRA?" I said, "Don't shout that in Dublin, you fucking nutter." Well, the thing is, I'd gone with a bubble gun. You know those bubble guns for parties.
Yeah, I remember. I think I've seen a video of it.
Yeah, well,
maybe.
Could you imagine if the police thought that was a concealed gun and they're shouting IRA? I was like, fucking, I'm getting out of here. So, yeah.
Don't trust them. Their security shouldn't be touching you, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, they over-dramatise everything. Like, they love any slight altercation they will turn into.
One of them pushed me from behind, and I turned around and pushed her back, and she'd seemed really surprised and started acting like it was a mistake.
Yeah, but I mean, did you get... I was thinking with you being a cis woman... Did anyone think you were a TERF? Because I know that has happened to some of my friends. If you're not wearing any sort of trans identifier,
I deliberately I had a cap with me, Lambrini girls cap that doesn't look fucked TERFs, and I deliberately put it in my bag so I could go and stand in their area.
Yeah.
But none of them tried to talk to me or anything.
Yeah.
I think I just looked like a person who was a bit lost and didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the video now. I'm watching it in speeded up so I can get through it a bit. So it looks like she was moved on from the town square to the police station. I see the guy in the black again. He's sort of helping her set up. He seems to be like a little kind of...
I think that's the guy you sent me a photo of earlier.
Yeah. So, I mean, on the whole, like, did it dissipate quite quickly? Did they just move to...
So, I think they were there for around an hour. I think I was home by 3, I think. So they really weren't there for very long. I think maybe around 2:15 they moved on.
I'm just looking at... She
followed them down the road a bit.
She needs to get her roots sorted out.
She looked terrible. She got her sunglasses on because she can't control the lighting, I guess, and can't add any filters herself. If other people are filming her.
I mean, I find it quite amusing that, like, the women that come up and speak, when you actually listen to what they're saying, I don't think anybody's really paying much attention because, like, when I've seen her in London, it's just like a bit of a day out for these people. Do you know what I mean? I think, see, on one hand, I kind of like, because I've been following what she's been doing for quite a while now, and she is fairly consistent in her messaging, and I think what she is good at is marketing of herself and her brand. It's like a brand for her. And obviously,
yeah, definitely. That's where she makes her money, isn't it?
She makes her money by going on GBnews and Talktv and being on...
And they all had those adult human female t-shirts on.
Yeah.
And she kept saying, buy merch, buy merch.
Yeah, I've got one. Yeah, well, I do know people
I think you should make a parody version of it.
Yeah, I do know people like yourself that go undercover for me, and they bring me back like souvenirs. So I've got quite a collection. I just,
I'm happy to do it anytime.
yeah. Well, thanks.
Although they might have some videos of me now because a couple of them putting their cameras in my face. So
well, they do. I mean, was there any chanting of Posie Parker? You can't hide. You've got Nazis on your side. That's my favourite one.
people were shouting lots of things about Nazis. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't remember if that specific
when
one.
I was in Dublin, that was the main one. Yeah, it's all a bit of fun. Did you have a good time? That's the main thing.
I kept telling one of them to call me a man to my face, and she kept barking at me. It's so funny.
I know I follow you on Twitter, and I think it's quite funny because, like, when they just call you sir, and they call you, oh, you're just a bloke and stuff like that. It's like
it's funny to me as well. I was talking to a mutual in DMs the other day, and she didn't know that I was cis.
Yeah. Well,
which I thought was funny.
Whenever they call me sir, I just say, it's okay, you can get off your knees. I've not been knighted yet. God. Do you know what I mean? Why did they show deference to me when they think I'm trans? And if I was a man, would you say that to a man? No, of course you wouldn't. It's stupid.
It's all really strange behaviour. And yeah, when they were all talking earlier, I watched the whole video. All of them, I think, apart from one or two of them, just literally commented on what was happening on the day. They didn't seem to have anything to say about any actual issues. It was just like, oh, I've just started coming to this, and there were lots of people, and they were very aggressive, and they didn't like us, and that was about all they had to say.
But this is the first kind of gender critical event you've been to. Have you been to other?
Yeah, it's the first one I've been to.
Yeah, they're all about the same. I mean, there are sort of more what you call respectable events, where they meet in like a community centre, and it's like the more political turfs. And I've been to when they've met up in.
I'll come with you next time.
Yeah,
that looks so funny.
Oh, yeah, it's good. But the problem I have now is because I'm so known to them, and I'd have to do some sort of disguise. But when you try and disguise yourself, you just end up looking more conspicuous. You know what I mean?
Fake glasses.
Yeah. And
oh no, we've seen you with glasses. So, well, they don't recognise me, and they think that I'm trans on Twitter. So, I think that I'm undercover still at the minute, which is it's a good job you didn't want to film me.
Yeah, there was a guy filming because I saw on another channel. I can't remember the name of the channel. It's one of those kind of, I don't know if he's far right or anything. I don't know if it's those citizen reporter kind of things.
Oh, I'll have a look and see what I can find.
He did have an altercation with some of the trans rights protesters because he was saying, "Don't touch me, don't touch." When people start saying "Don't touch me," it's like to infer that they have.
And when they're nowhere near them.
Yeah, it's one of the tactics really is to, try and get something going, agitate. So yeah, you've got to be careful.
Yeah, I thought that's what that woman was doing when she pushed me, but I think she was surprised I didn't act all scared when she did it, and then kind of realised I was taller than her, and back down.
Well, what Kellie normally does is she arranges a pub for them all to meet in afterwards. The turfs that she's had speaking.
We found which pub they were in, but it was the one that Jean Hatchett was in. I didn't see Jean Hatchett actually at the protest.
Well, you see,
but apparently she was there.
They always get drunk, and they always try and make some altercation happen in a pub or get the police.
Oh yeah, they deliberately went to a bar that is trans friendly.
Well, they do that, and also they love to get arrested. Not arrested, but moved on by the police, because generally speaking, the police haven't a clue. Like, the police genuinely think, oh, this is a women's rights protest, haha, because the police are just misogynistic anyway, so they don't give a shit about either side of the protest, usually. They didn't seem to care. They seemed to be annoyed that they were there when it was a bit rainy. Yeah. It's just a bit of a, something they have to deal with. But when I've been to protests myself, because of the way I do things, I always look for a police officer, because sometimes they're not always obvious, but I can always tell. And when somebody's a police officer, but I always make conversation with the police, because it's not because I want police around me. It's because I know if anything happens, I've already got a point of contact. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I get that. I saw in the interviews that she does, one of the women was saying that her husband was on a council protest, which I thought was hilarious.
Oh gosh. Yeah, you do get all sorts of people turning up. There's a guy that I'm not going to mention any names, but he has DM'd me and offered to pay for sex with me, and I was like, I know you fucking weirdo.
They're all very strange people.
Yeah, and well, I'm glad you're safe anyway, and you're back safe.
Thank you, Freda.
I mean, I know you're not daft. I know you're not like a shrinking violet or anything. But when anybody tells me they're going to a protest or anything like this, I always say just look after yourself. Go with somebody or find somebody to hang out with. So, thanks.
Yeah, I was fine. I deliberately didn't get like in the middle of it. I wanted to like be on the edge and watch what they were doing. I'll send you some more videos anyway when I've been sorted through them.
You see, the way I do protests now, because I am sort of known to them, what I do is I either send somebody in, like, it's not really covert or anything, it's just somebody that'll blend in, and I create a Bluetooth speaker. It's like a portable speaker with a message on it, with an 8-hour battery life, and I break the off switch, so the speaker will just repeat a message over and over until somebody works out how to turn it off.
Oh my God, we could chain it to her PA.
Yeah, well, that's what I did at Tufton Street. When I went to Tufton Street, I chained a...
I remember.
I changed a 40.
I remember seeing the video of them like a few days later, like, or maybe the next day, saying it's not stopped.
Yeah. Well, I posted a load of plastic crickets through the letterbox, and yeah. But that was in honour of the Trans Kids Deserve Better, because I couldn't source any live crickets that day. So
it's probably best to use fake ones, because otherwise they're just gonna report you to the cops.
Well, thank you for reporting back from the front line of the gender
No
wars.
worries, Freda.
It's always nice to talk to somebody who's on, who's been on the ground, because, we can all look at. I always check out what's going on Twitter and stuff like that, but to hear a first-hand account and to get that's how you get a proper insight, and it's thanks. So thanks for
no worries.
Putting yourself in the line of fire, and if you're ever going to anything else, let me know.
All right, mate. Have a good one.
All right, speak to you soon.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.